Hey guys, welcome to the first Cooking with Kids video. Bear with me, I'm learning all about this as I go, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me if I stumble a bit. So the first thing I want to do is talk about when you're cooking with kids, certain things you should watch for, kind of precautions you should take, things you should teach them before they start handling their food. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, of course, anything doing with the kitchen and the oven. Teach them, what they can handle, what they can't. If the oven's going, make sure they're aware of the heat, that it's hot. Also being aware of if you're cooking on top of the stove with pots, turn any pot handles in towards the back of the stove. That way they can't reach over and knock it off onto themselves. Also, anything cutting wise, just be age appropriate, aware. So anything like they're working with sharp knives and cutting, make sure you don't have like a 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old doing that. Maybe do it for them ahead of time and just have things in bowls, kind of pre-prepped like I have here. Most important, keeping your hair up if you have long hair. Teach them not to touch their face, stick their hands in their nose or their fingers. I've worked with a couple of kids in the daycare and had them cook with me, and I know that this can sometimes be a challenge where you have to keep sending them to the sink and everything. If it doesn't bother you, I guess that's not a problem, but just good hygiene practices. The next thing I'm going to teach you is proper hand washing techniques that you can teach your child. I'm looking forward to baking with you guys. So when you're washing your hands, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you've taken off any rings, any wristwatches, bracelets, jewelry, that sort of thing. Mainly because you can't wash most of them and get them properly washed. And then when you're cooking with them, they actually can carry food particles and stuff, so you have that whole cross-contamination thing going on. So first things first, obviously you're going to turn on the water, have your soap handy, making sure that it's warm water to hot. I know some kids are really sensitive towards the temperature, so just be aware of that while you're cooking and washing your hands with them. I'm just going to video you guys the proper techniques. So first things first, of course you're going to get your hands wet, add your soap. You're going to want to get, of course, your palms. Then you're going to want to work it to the back of each hand. You're going to want to go in between your fingers, like that. You're going to want to make sure you get your thumb. So you're going to do this sort of like you're making sure you get every inch of it and pull up sort of thing. You're going to want to get the tips of your fingers by doing this, and when you squish them around and kind of like tickle your hands, that's getting the soap up under your nails, so you're getting rid of everything there. And then I always just like to take it a bit further up the wrist, just because things happen, and so it's good to have it as far up as you can, especially with kids. And then just rinse off, make sure it's totally and completely rinsed. Shut off the water, and then use a clean, dry towel and ensure that you get every inch dry so you're not carrying whatever bacteria might get on there. Okay guys, so the item that we're going to be making today is a really quick, easy meal idea that I do for the kids in the daycare. It's one of their favorites. They probably talk about pizza wraps, that sort of thing. They're not pizza wraps, it's just what they call it because it's cut in wedges. We're actually going to make baked quesadillas. These are really great because they're quickly done in the oven. They don't take more than, like 15 minutes to assemble and cook. You can have the kids help out and jump in, or you can make them yourself. In it, you can really, the sky's the limit as long as you got cheese and something in there. It's a quesadilla. So what I've picked, just because it's the way I make it in the daycare, and it's also something that my son, who you'll meet a little later when we start assembling, it's what he likes to eat. Usually the simpler you go with kids, the better. You know, some of them are really picky, so the simpler items, the better. But if your kid's really adventurous, hey, add in whatever you want. You can add in vegetables, you can add in salsa, you can add in different types of meats like chicken, you can add in deli meats, you can add in cooked taco meat, that sort of thing. Really, the sky's the limit with your quesadillas. Just do them to your personal tastes. So here's all the items that we're going to be using today to make our baked quesadillas. We have tortilla wraps, we have pre-cooked ham, we have cheese, and then these are the utensils you're essentially going to be using to make them. So I'm using a non-stick pan and also just a flipper. And then of course the oven. Okay, so I'm going to introduce my helper and my son. He's going to be helping make the quesadillas today. So, Liam, say hi.
Hi.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Don't touch your nose. No touching your face because your hands are clean, okay? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a video of you making your quesadillas, okay? So yeah, we're going to do the cheese first. You're going to put it on your quesadilla, yeah? Make sure you get lots around there. Yeah, you do the other one. Here you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. So as you can see, we're just spreading the cheese around. Excellent job, Liam. Yeah, let's get a bunch on there. Yeah, I want to make sure you get at least half of the quesadilla covered on the one side. Okay, I will go like this. Got it? How's that? Does that look like enough cheese for you, Liam?
No.
No, you need more? Okay. Oh, that looks like a lot of cheese. Okay, let's put some more on here. Okay, so now that we've got the cheese on there, what we're going to do is we're going to take our meat. So now we're going to put our meat on our quesadillas. Just like that. Okay, put some more on over here. So you want to kind of space the items out because you do want the cheese to kind of go through both sides so your quesadillas do hold together. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah. Here, put some on here. Yeah. How's that? Do you think that's enough meat?
Well, I have to eat it.
Okay, you like to sample, obviously. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is you're just going to fold over into half. Just like that. It's really easy. And then the next step you're going to do is you're going to turn your oven dial all the way over to broil. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure your child is away from the oven as you go to put the pan in there, just for safety reasons. You're going to put the pan in there, usually about middle shelf, that sort of thing. And you're going to turn the oven light on so you can watch it as it cooks. And you're going to watch to see that it starts kind of browning on top. And then you're going to flip it. Okay, so the first side is almost finished. This is kind of the look that you're looking for. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure anytime you're pulling something out of the oven, you're going to use an oven mitt. Just set it on top. And then you're going to use your flipper. And basically you're just going to flip it to the other side, just ensuring that both sides will get to be brown. Lost some ham there. Okay, so then you're going to put it back in. And you're going to allow it to continue to broil on the other side. I will let you know that anytime you're browning something in the oven on broil, what'll happen is the first side will take forever, it seems, and then the next side will go way quicker, so you have to be very careful and watch it. Okay guys, so the quesadillas are finished. I've pulled them out of the oven, shut off my oven. This is what your finished product will look like. I meant to mention, if you have a snacker / food food taster like my son at home, what you're gonna find is any leftovers are going to be consumed. So you can either wrap up whatever leftovers you have, or if you're like me, just leave the bowl out and let your son go to town on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these into quarters, and then we're just gonna enjoy. Try a bite. How's it taste?
Good.
Yeah? Oh yeah, you found another piece of ham?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for us today, guys. We will see you not next week, but the week after with another food item. Can you say bye, Liam?
Bye.
Enjoy your quesadillas, guys.